adventure.
When your life's been put on hold for far too long, when the sorrow and despair is growing strong, there is always something good to be obtained from breaking loose and leave the things that kept you chained. So when you find the strength to really shed your skin, all you really need to do is search within.
We found our first real trail outside of Eolia, Kentucky. Population, 12, if you count the dogs.
There's another washout on the right there.
This was, in my opinion, some of the most magical scenery that I'd seen thus far.
Most of those are redbud trees, like the one we have right by the water pump. So this would be really beautiful in the spring.
Makes sense. I wonder if I can clear this.
Yes.
This trail was littered with washouts. That's where the road is eroded away by water. It's normally on the edge of a cliff. If you put your tire wrong on a washout, you could end up falling off the edge of the side of a mountain and dying. It's a good idea to have a spotter help you through a tough washout.
Help.
To avoid the washout on the right, the passenger side, we're going to try and put our left tires, the driver's side tires, up on that little ridge line. It ends up being between a 25 to a 30% pitch. That doesn't sound like much until you're looking out your passenger side window and seeing a 3,000-foot drop-off. Hanging off the side of a cliff. The adrenaline just spikes. We call that puckering. But I love this reaction. God, I love that girl.
Yeah, that off camera. Shit, it's kind of scary.
There was a big hole in the cliff.
Butterfly Hill. Look at this butterfly. Isn't that perfect? It's moments like these that you start to think about how many millions and billions of things had to happen over eons just so we could see this moment right here. It's perfect. And it will never happen again.
Let's get married here.
Right here?
Yes.
Joke's on her. We're already married. But I'd do it again. Every decision I've made, right or wrong, has affected the next one. Sometimes I choose to turn left, sometimes I choose right, but it always has consequences for the rest of the turns to come. I've lived so much of my life in fear of what's around the next bend. But I think I'm learning, sometimes you just gotta kick back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Because sometimes life will throw you one you never saw coming. That is a black bear. Let's rewind that.
There was a little black bear. Just ran off the trail.
I missed it.
I think happiness is accepting whatever is around the next bend and appreciating the moments that the universe gives us. And you know what? This moment, right here, it was amazing. Our last trail of the day was a forest access road on Pine Mountain, a few miles west of Kingdom Come State Park. We made a stop a few hours before to take in the views of the highest point in Kentucky. We tried to stop and get something to eat in Lynch, Kentucky. Unfortunately, the coffee shop was closed, but serendipitously, they had this black bear statue. Yes, universe, I see what you did there. It was getting late, and we were on the lookout for a good dispersed campsite. Little did we know that this forest access road would stretch on for almost 25 miles, and campsites were hard to come by. This is the E.L. Brown Trail. As the trail stretched on, we were starting to get a bit concerned. Every offshoot that we saw that had a potential campsite always had a problem. Either there was a big log blocking access for the jeeps or huge mud holes, and one was absolutely perfect, but it felt like if you took one wrong step, you were going to fall off the side of the mountain. We only saw one in a couple hours' time that seemed perfect, but there was a sign in front of it that said E.L. Brown Nature Preserve. It even had a stone fire ring for a dispersed campsite, but I don't know, it felt like we would get in trouble for sleeping right in front of a nature preserve, you know? So we finally gave up and went for some lower ground.
Once we get back here, you'll have to give me a second to get myself turned around. You'll want to do the same thing once I do.
The problem with the lower ground ended up being all the mosquitoes and the snakes. Did I mention the snakes? That's why we called it Snake Hollow. So we made an executive decision to backtrack the same trail for the third time that day to the nature preserve.
I've been lying here for too long.
Adventure!
Wanna get away from everything.
Again!
Just to try to make it through.
Running the same 5 miles of forest access road for the third time that day ended up being one of my favorite memories of the trip. But my acceptance of it determines whether it's a good or bad experience. And this one, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I've been running in circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left.
Alright, here we are. Home sweet E.L. Brown Preserve.
I've been staying up all night. Everything I ever worked for vanished in the blink of an eye. I've been asking every question, 'cause I haven't got a clue. Was it gotta be me? What the hell